All right, what's going on, everybody? It's Wagner to Kutch, Tyler, along with my guy Dougie Fresh.
I'm feeling pretty fresh right now. I was a little concerned for a few minutes that I wouldn't be, but I'm fresh as a daisy right now. Yeah.
The Buccos win it on a walk-off. Ji-Hwan Bae, 3-run walk-off home run, bottom of the ninth. Doug, we watched it together.
Yes, we did. We did. We got
our first
little different timing
together.
of it. Yes, exactly. I'm very excited. I feel very close to you right now. Right?
You should. We got to watch a walk-off home run together. I've never watched a walk-off home run with DiNardo, Jim. I watched one with Doug.
I'm feeling special. Yeah. Suck it, DiNardo and Jim. Right?
Exactly.
Ty and I sharing the walk-off.
Exactly. We shared the walk-off. Like I said, Pirates win it 7-4 on a walk-off. Ji-Hwan Bae somehow pulls a baseball over the Clemente wall. The guy that I think we were both at the same time going, just please put the ball in play and don't strike out. All you've done is chase all day.
Just get us to Reynolds. That's all I want. Just get us to Reynolds. I felt like we'd have a chance. Right? That was it. Just don't.
At one point, I said out loud, I wish he was the last out of this inning here so that we could start with him on second base.
You already had him on second base, right? Man, well, that worked out. We did have a blown save, so that's unfortunate.
We did.
But in the end, we get pinch hits from Kutch, a walk-off home run from Bae, a nice outing by Keller. Home run from Sawinski. Choi still hitting the ball hard.
Yeah,
it's a good victory.
Yeah, it is. Let's just work backwards here. We'll start with the most recent here, the Ji-Hwan Bae walk-off. Ninth inning, Rodolfo Castro somehow just fights off a pitch and somehow gets on base. Me and you both kind of on the same page there. I think we both wanted Jack Sawinski to bunt him over there with Andrew McCutchen on deck.
We definitely did. We definitely did. It seemed to be the most sensible thing. I mean, you'd call it right out. You're like, bunt him over and pinch hit for delay. So again, Castro, he's got decent, at least try to steal is what we were, something to get to second base.
Right.
But I'm not sure. They have a lot of faith in Sawinski. They really do. I'm not sure why. To me, he's proven more negatives than positives, but he has looked better in the past couple of days. He's hitting, he's making decent enough contact. It's warning track power at this point, but hopefully he'll get a little more oomph on it.
Hey, over the wall. We'll get to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. It's like, all right, he's got his home run. This could be another 10 at bats before we get another hit. So let's play good old fashioned small ball,
right,
and get him over. They didn't.
Yeah.
He made an out, and right, and then we bring in Kutch.
Yeah, and I don't want to really overshadow this walk-off home run here, but the Pirates have done a good job of playing some small ball this year, I think. We saw Brian Hayes early in the game steal third base and Kenyon Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, that was a key. Right, that was a nice at bat by him too.
Right.
This team has to with some of the speed that we have, with some of the athleticism we have, and we don't have a lot of great hitters. We don't have a lot of great on base guys. We don't have a lot of power. So we're going to have to manufacture runs. I mean, we've got some guys that can do that. And, it takes me back to the Jay Bell days where he had to sacrifice every single time that the leadoff hitter got on. It used to drive me crazy. I'm like, Jay Bell can hit in the first inning. Do we have to? But I mean, let's take the bat out of some of these guys' hands because they're 200 hitters. And we talked a little too while watching the game. We don't know how good can Sawinski bunt. Well, if he can't, someone should be working on it tomorrow, right? I mean, that can't be the hardest skill to teach. I did it in Little League, right? Yeah. So, yeah, if this team is going to have to generate runs, and it does. I mean, they were having to do that with Cruz, right? I mean, we needed, without Cruz, we're going to have to work at some of them, and we've got some guys that can do something. So let's use every tool in the toolbox.
You bring up a good point there about trying to find that power without Cruz in here, and let's just take it back to the guy that hit the walk-off. That's 2 home runs for Ji-hwan Bae this year. I don't know. I don't think I expected him to be much beyond that, maybe 10 to 12 home run range if he gets everyday at bats. I think I'm seeing a little bit more pop than I expected out of him.
But now, right, for the first part of his minor league career, he didn't have any home runs, if I remember. Like, he didn't hit any.
Right.
And then I think he hit maybe 6 one, and maybe that was last year. Last year he started stinging the ball a little better, but it was still only 6 or 8 home runs. It wasn't, it certainly wasn't the pace that he'd be on now. So yeah, he's hit the ball hard a couple of times, and 2 home runs, a walk-off home run. There's not much more you can ask for there. Consistency, less strikeouts, get on base, that sort of thing. But yeah, you're right. He seems to have a little more pop than maybe we thought.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a guy that had, I think, like a 430 slugging in AAA last year. Yeah. Second home run of the year here. And we talk about it a lot. A lot of his quote-unquote power is going to come from just his speed in general.
Right.
Because he's going to be
his
able
doubles
to
are going to be base. Yeah, he's going to be able to push it, get doubles and triples that other people would have as singles and doubles. Right, that's where his slugging will come from. But it does seem like there's a little in there, and I mean, it'd be great. It'd be great if he could be what we want Hayes to be, a 12 to 15 home run guy. And if he gets the at bats, and there's no reason for him to not get the at bats now.
Yeah, and I think we've seen a lot of Ji-hwan Bae. He seems to really, really, really want to lean into that, to really who he is. He's a guy that's going to try to take the ball the other way. He's going to try to bloop a line drive over third base, and he's going to attempt to get second out of it. And if he doesn't, he's going to try to steal second.
Right. Yeah, he seems to be a dynamic player. He's going to make things happen. He certainly does. Once he's on base, you feel very comfortable that he's going to be standing at second before, 2 off along, and maybe third as well. And that's what we need. I mean, we need that. We need to get, guys in runners in scoring position. We need to force the issue. Again, we're not, right? I mean, nobody thinks this is an 80-win team. So, we're not our Warriors versus Baltimore Orioles. Let's sit back and wait for a 3-run home run. That's not who we are. Mm-hmm. We do have some guys occasionally.
I love that thing.
But we'll see. We do have, there's Reynolds can obviously, Choi, 2 days after everybody wanted to cut him is, he was, I think, 2 for 4 tonight. He hit the, a double and that was darn close to being a home run, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
let's jump to Choi here.
Right.
Because he's a guy I wanted to talk about. I think just last week I was talking about how I don't know how Choi fits on this team. Of course, that's before the Cruz injury. I don't know that the Cruz injury really changes much.
Not for him. I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't think. What's today when I saw the lineup, the first thing I thought is, and I was at work, I wasn't able to get on Twitter, but I thought, Twitter is blowing up with him batting third, right? They're not happy with him batting third. And then you thought, well, who else?
Yeah.
Who else? Who else could bat third if you're going to give Kutch the day off, and Kutch and Connor Joe both? There's the options. The only other really good option for batting third would be Brian Reynolds, and we seem to like him as batting second. But two games in a row, it does not a season make, but he's hitting the ball hard. Teammates seem to love him. They really do seem to like him.
Absolutely.
And I don't know how much that counts for, if he's not producing, but him, it looks like we're going to get from him and Santana what we anticipated getting. They'll combine for 20 home runs or so, maybe a little more. They'll get on base some. They'll play fine defensively. I'm hoping for a little above league average, just a little. And 775 OPS between the two.
It's April 11th. I know the entire offseason and coming when I was talking about, I don't know about Choi fitting into this lineup. It looked like Choi was on the downside of his career. The power seemed to be gone, but the plate discipline was still there. Yeah. We're seeing a bit of a power resurgence here.
Right. Yeah, he finished awful last year. And you're right. And, the elbow could still be lingering a little. I mean, there's reasons to be patient. I remember, toward the end of the spring, we were talking about the loophole that we could, cut him and not have to, and all that sort of stuff. And you know how much I want Swaggerty on the team. So anything that's going to get Swaggerty, I'm like, all right, Connor Joe plays first base, Swaggerty. But I don't want to cut Choi yet. I would like to give him a little time. He is a veteran. He does have good plate discipline, and this team desperately needs that. And so just the Kutch, Santana, and Choi have just helped extend the lineup a little. It's not a surefire out like like all of last year from 5 through 9. So and they're helping us get to the bullpen faster. We're we're getting through the starter to the bullpen, and that's helpful. Hopefully the young guys are picking up on it. It doesn't appear to be yet, but hopefully they'll start catching on, start taking a few more pitches. But no, I get it. All of our young guys really are kind of fighting for their spot, right? Castro, Bay, Sawinski, Caden Smith, and Jigba, they're looking over the shoulder, and rightfully so. So they want to be a little more aggressive. They want to hit 4 3-run home runs with nobody on base, that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with all. I mean, Connor Joe. I'm happy with all the veterans. The veterans have been fine, and the young. Tonight was a good night for the young guys. Castro got on base a couple times. Sawinski hits a home run. CSN.
Not to mention, Castro made a couple very nice plays at shortstop that are going to be very much needed here in Cruz's absence for the next 4 months.
Yeah.
Because there is not much to help out at that position right now.
No, it's so, like you said earlier, Ben Sherrington has signed 1,000 middle infielders, and none of them better, including guys like Mark Mathias, but no shortstops. He doesn't sign, he signs a bunch of guys that were shortstops, but none of them that can play shortstop. I don't want to see Chris Owings up here. I need Castro. We need Castro to play the position well. We need him to just, now, I mean, I feel like I'm back to the Brian Hayes thing. If he could just be a league average hitter and field the position average, we can survive with that. But yeah, we don't have margin for error. We can't be giving runs away. And yesterday's one of his first chance, he just drops the ball. You're like, oh, come on. So, I mean, again, all in all, this was a other than the blown save from David Bednar, and those are going to come. He's not going to go 59-0 and save opportunities. Hopefully, that's all it is.
Yeah, but just to kind of wrap it up on Castro there.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. He's a guy that I think we all were on the same page of We want to see some more opportunities out of him. The Pirates clearly preferred Bather at second base, it seemed like. But now, due to Cruz's unfortunate injury, Castro is going to get a lot of run here. So at some point, he's got his chance here.
Right.
He's got a shot to show he's a Major League Baseball player.
Yeah, from now to the middle of August, Bay and Castro both are going to have a better opportunity than they did with Cruz being here. There's a lot, there's a lot more at bats, a lot more playing time. They're going to have an opportunity. A lot of times it seems like, we brought up Swaggerty for 5 games. Not much of an opportunity. This is not the case. They're going to get a full season's worth of at bats if they can handle it. So, I'm not happy about the Cruz injury, but if there's a silver lining in or any kind of bonuses, these two guys get a chance to play. They're probably going to play just about every day. Matthias will play some whatever, but I don't expect, the majority of the middle infield at bat should come from those two guys.
Oh,
if they perform like they did today. Yeah, if they perform like they did today, that's fine.
And I'm going to be honest, even if they don't, I got to see them in the lineup every day. I need an extended look at both these guys, and I think they're going to get it as long as the lefty's on the mound. Then Bay's going to be out of the lineup most of the time.
Yeah.
And then just to wrap up Troy real quick, I like what he brings. I love the plate discipline, and I've brought up a lot. I feel like every time I'm on this show, I talk about how I like what the Pirates have done, and I like on a micro level of what they've done player to player. There's a lot of guys that are going to see a lot of pitches. We just hadn't seen it really come together as a team yet. We're starting to see it in the last week where these extended at-bats are starting to get to the bullpen. The guys are on base. The runners in scoring position.
That was the key to the opening day win, right? Yep. We couldn't touch Hunter Green, but we got him out in the 4th inning. And it was what Kutch had 3 walks, I think. And I'm loving Kutch's start. Last year when we were talking about signing Kutch, I'm like, no, please, no. He doesn't hit until June, right? Yeah. And then he has a great June, and then he starts tailing off the rest of the way. And that was even back at the the peak of his powers. So this year, that he is just on base and getting hits, getting walked, and playing good defense when he's out there. I hope we don't burn him out. I hope we don't wear. Well, yeah,
his arm's still terrible.
No, the arm's still terrible, but he's getting the speed. Yeah. He's still got the speed.
Yeah, the speed is back.
Yeah. So my goodness, I'm thrilled from what we're getting at this point in the season. Hopefully the 400 June still comes, but. I mean, if he's not hitting 200 on June 1st as he is every year of his career, what a bonus. I mean, he seems to be reinvigorated. I didn't put a lot of stock in it. Oh, he's back in Pittsburgh. I mean, I knew he was thrilled to be back, but I didn't think it would impact his play. It really seems like it's impacting his play. So,
you know what? He just looks comfortable.
Yeah.
Like
waking up in his own bed is a good thing, right?
Right. But even just at the plate, he just looks comfortable. He's never pressing. And I don't know if you could say that before in the last maybe 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. It's interesting.
And I'm sure a lot of that's just trying to get the knee back, things like that. But there's something to be said about just.
Yeah, he reminds me of the old quarterback who's lost his mobility and lost some of his arm strength, but can read defenses so well now. And he's picked up all these little nuances, and that's what he looks like. He looks like a guy that's just the smartest guy on the field, right? I mean, he is going to outsmart the pitcher. He's going to, it's just great. It's great to see, and like you said, he looks just at ease. And I haven't seen him take a bad swing, I think, all year.
Yeah. You know what I really just wanted to say was you've seen Moneyball, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
It feels like the Pirates just signed a bunch of the scene with David Justice where Billy Bean walks up to him and says, you know what we're trying to do here.
Right.
I'm just trying to squeeze the last ounce of baseball you've got in you.
Right. And
they've got like 4 or 5 of them. Yeah.
I mean, it's. I don't know. It's. 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 It's funny. I don't think it was necessarily their plan. Had they known they were going to get Santana, would they have traded for Choi? Had they
Right.
known they were going to get Rich Hill, would they have signed Velasquez? I mean, it's and of course they had no clue uh, that about Kutch, and
Mhm.
I mean the fact that Kutch is texting Bob Nutting still
Yeah.
stuns me.
Right.
Does Bob Nutting have a unlimited text to data plan? You would think. I would think he only paid for 100 minutes.
But
So,
but seriously, I don't care if it's accidental. For
yeah.
some reason, all these moves have created a
But right,
bunch of
right,
players on one team that know how to have professional at bats.
right. Now, I mean, especially the way Cruz was playing, our
Mhm.
first six guys, depending, on the lineup sometimes. But when you've got Joe, Connor Joe has been in an underrated part of that. Joe, Choi, Santana, Reynolds, man. I mean that and a Kutch. That's five guys. We haven't
Mhm.
had five guys in a row who had good at bats. uh, I don't like, since what,
I
2016,
mean,
2017,
yeah,
right?
just having the ability to move Cabrian Hayes out of the top 5 in the lineup
Yeah.
does a lot.
Yeah. I'm over.
Yeah,
He's a
that's a
great defensive player. If he ever hits, fine. I'm just done expecting it. We've all said it a million times. If
yeah,
he could only be an average, I don't care.
yeah.
I'm
It's
just, if it happens, fantastic. But I'm not looking for it anymore. I'm not counting on it, and I don't ever want to talk about it again.
that's fine with me. We'll just skip him this show because
Skip.
that's a song for another time. I
Yeah.
feel like I just need like an hour of Cabrian Hayes talk just to rant about him right now, but we're
Right.
okay.
We'll save that for
Pirates walk it off
June.
on a
Yeah.
the Pirates walked it off.
They
We'll
walked it
just
off.
stay with that.
Nice start from Keller. Uh,
Yes.
Dwayne Underwood
Um,
Jr. had a 1-2-3 inning. I mean, I
good
know we're
lord,
not
Doug, you
talking
just want to
pitching
talk
yet.
about them all in 5 seconds?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sorry, I get a little excied, but
I know.
I mean,
I know.
Dwayne Underwood Jr. had a 1-2-3 inning this season and a ninth inning save.
Yeah.
These were not on my bingo card. So
All right. So we'll just move it on to the pitching staff here because we're already 22 minutes in. Let's just open it up with the bad so we can finish with the good. David Bednar blows his first save of the year. It's gonna happen.
it's gonna happen.
Um,
Every closer does.
they do. I don't like the way it happened. Blowing a 2-run lead doesn't
Right.
really sit well with me, but
Right.
he's looked so good.
Yeah, he was due. I'm
And if you're going to blow a save, one, you got to walk it off, so I feel better about it.
right.
Two, if you do it to the defending World Series champions,
So
that's
he
fine.
got the win, right? He got the win.
He
Yeah.
does end up with a win.
It's still, of all the scoring rules they have, that's the
Yeah.
one that cracks me up the most. Or the guy that gets the hold and the blown save at the same time. But yeah, I mean, there's no reason to overreact to it. If it happens again tomorrow, maybe I get a little whiny. But
Right.
he had one. What he's had, I think he's got 4 saves. I mean, he's done fine. Him and
Probably,
Holderman, him and Holderman have been a nice 8-9. Yeah, it happened. K Sarah.
I don't think I had on my bingo card that Bednar would blow one before Holderman.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. Holderman has not looked lights out. He's getting the job done, but it's taken Bay making unbelievable catches at the Green Monster. It's
Right.
but I mean, he's getting them out.
Right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where are we at on your concern level with David Bednar?
0. I have no concern
All right,
about
cool.
one blown save.
All right, cool. We're on the same page here.
If
Just
we're back
wanted to make
next week
sure.
and there's 2 of them or 3 of them,
Right.
then we'll
Right.
discuss concern. Right now,
Like,
it happens every
right.
year.
Yeah, if we see the velocity, there's times where I'm a little concerned with David Bednar, mainly when the velocity ticks down a hair, or he's used just ridiculously.
Right.
We haven't really seen him used ridiculously yet, so I'm not
Right.
concerned with him yet. And
Yeah.
just so I know you'll appreciate it. Anthony says he's lived through Mike Williams.
Mike Williams.
We will survive if he blows a few leads like this.
Anthony, that's all-star Mike Williams with his 5.38 ERA. He was an all-star. Right. So
Mike Williams,
that
baby.
guy. We've had a lot. Although we've
Mike
had some
Williams
really
days.
good bullpens, even when the teams were
Yes.
terrible. We've had Huntington could build a bullpen.
Yeah, I mean,
And cheaply,
even
right?
even before then, old Jose Mesa
Yeah,
for
yeah.
1 year,
1 year.
or who's Octavia Dotel? Is that
Dotel,
his name?
Octavio
Yeah,
Dotel, yeah.
Solomon Torres.
Yeah,
We
and we had
just name names all night, but
yeah, exactly. Matt Capps, Hanneran. I mean, it's
yeah,
been
I was trying to keep it out of the Huntington era, but
right. The Littlefield era.
Holderman came in the 8th, right? Or am I
Yes,
just
he
losing
did.
my mind?
Yes,
Yes,
he did.
he looked fine. Like
Yeah.
tonight, not as
It wasn't as
I've been
adventurous as some of his others have been,
right.
right? A
That's a
little
good
cleaner,
way to put it.
right?
I think he's been a little bit shaky to this point.
Now, I really feel, and I mean, I don't know how to do it. I don't have a good, but I'll feel better if we get, I don't know, but somebody else up here, someone else that can pitch the 8th inning. De Los Santos, Bolton, Baczynski. I just just another, because right now it seems like we have one 8th inning option,
Right.
and that's a little unsettling. So
Yeah, but tonight I mean, I'm happy with Holderman.
yeah,
Not really. No complaints tonight.
he
And
did his
I'll be
job.
honest, I've had some complaints about him lately.
Yeah, yeah, he's been scary, and you just we've all watched baseball long enough. You cannot keep giving up hard hit balls and putting guys on base and escaping unscathed. It doesn't last. It catches up to you sooner or later. So it'd be nice to see some of those 1, 2, 3 innings out of them.
Yeah.
That involved grounders and pop-ups and not,
Right.
tremendous catches at the wall.
Yeah. I just don't have much more to add on him tonight. I'm still not really fully sold on him as the late end guy. I love the stuff.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, like I said, I'd feel better if we
nasty.
could put him in the 7th inning, rather than having him being our sole 8th inning guy. Because
just move it down the line. Dwayne Underwood Jr., Doug.
1, 2, 3.
He did
baby.
not,
1,
and he did
2,
not
3
come
innings.
out for a 2nd inning.
Yeah, that was
praise Jesus.
That's what I thought. I thought, oh no, he said a 1, 2, 3 inning. I know he's coming back out.
He did come back out for the 8th, baby.
It seems like Shelton. I mean, I kind of like some of the stuff Shelton's doing this year, and I mean, there's always, you can complain with every pitching change and every lineup, and that's whatever, that's fine. But yes, he did not bring Underwood. I honestly thought he was going to let Keller go in the 7th. I thought he's got 92 pitches. He's let him go over 100 each time. Bring him in, see if he can get an out or two. Because I didn't want to see Dwayne Underwood Jr. that soon. Game was too close, and then he did a fine job. Hats off.
Yeah, it's weird what happens when you use a reliever in like a normal reliever role and not just
you use him
bust
for
them
one
out
inning,
there for
right. Bring him.
Maybe we don't treat him like Will Crow, where we throw him 3 and then 2.2 3 days later.
Poor Will Crow.
Once again, song for another time.
Yeah. We wore him out last year. We're going to wear him out this year.
Yeah. So bullpen management wise, not mad about Shelton tonight.
No.
He got the Holderman and Bednar efficiently. No complaints there. We didn't have to see a guy take an extra inning, but that all comes back with a start from Mitch Keller.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you feel the same way as me here. The first 2 innings, I didn't know if he was making it out of the 3rd. They were hitting some rockets off of him.
They were hitting the ball hard. When you look at it big picture, it's like, they gave home run to Bregman and Tucker. No shame in that. Solo home runs. Still, 2 walks, 6 hits. He's still that whip. He's still putting too many guys on base. I'd like to see. Now he's getting strikeouts now, something he wasn't doing last year. Last year,
I think 11.29 per 9 or something like that. It's
right.
It's a very good number.
Very good number, and especially, I mean, last year didn't he led the league or maybe even the majors in inducing double plays, and that, again, that's scary. It's like you don't get the lead in inducing double plays unless you have guys on base an awful lot, and he did. He did not, for as well as he did down the stretch. That whip wasn't wasn't elite as some of his other stuff was, and I would like to see some improvement in that still. But he don't blink anymore, right? You don't
No,
see the
no,
oh gosh, gee whiz guy that you
yeah,
used to see on the mound after every little thing. Now, like I said, he gives up a home run. Next guy
mhm,
gets out, saws the bat off, and one
yeah,
pitch out, and it's like there you go. Right, you can give up a
yeah,
solo home run to the Houston Astros to Alec Bregman. That's it's fine. Um, so yeah, he gives up 2 runs. He goes 6 innings.
mhm,
Uh, no complaints. I said I'm a little surprised given how. I mean, I think Shelton is trying to mold an ace here, right? And that's why he's let him
mhm.
go longer than we thought in either of those
Yeah,
last 2 starts. So I sort of thought with 92 pitches, hey, maybe he gets an out or two. Maybe he gets through it real quick and gets another inning in. But I can't complain. The results were perfect in that regard. So Shelton, he pushed all the right buttons tonight. Um,
mhm.
yeah, again, like I said, it's a good win. We're Pirates fan, and we go from one extreme. Yesterday was the end of the world, and today we're back in wild card contention. So,
Exactly.
tomorrow, you tomorrow I can't do a post game show, so you can talk
You know
to
what? I can't
whomever.
either.
All
So we're on the same page.
right, right. Let somebody else
Um,
talk about how the sky is falling. So,
yeah, but talk about Keller today. I got in halfway through the first inning. Um, During the second inning, he throws a cutter to Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker, it's a good pitch. Kyle Tucker sends it over the Clemente wall.
right.
I'm sitting there thinking, good Lord, there's no way he's getting through the third or fourth inning. This is going to be the worst post game show of my life.
Almost.
And then somehow Mitch Keller strikes out 7, only walks 2. The Astros, who did nothing but hit just lasers all over the field, just kind of get settled down somehow. And part part of it is, I think, that cutter that he's introduced this year. It's almost replaced his changeup, and not to get too in depth here, but I'd like to see him kind of work on a cut change there, kind of like Kyle Hendrick, who I would take over the Clemente wall myself. That's also a story for another day. But I'd like to see him maybe mix something like that in because he seems to have problems with his regular changeup. But anyhow, that seems to have really given life to that fastball. We see him able to command the breaking stuff really well. He is missing bats like he did at single A, double A, pretty much
Right,
until
right.
he got triple A and they just couldn't miss bats
They
anymore.
couldn't, right, right. I mean, he's turning into that pitcher that we read about in Baseball America and Baseball Prospect. All the, for like this is the guy. He is going to be. We've got an ace coming,
Mhm.
and then just right from AAA on, he just couldn't get a strikeout.
And
Um,
I'm not calling him an ace here.
no,
I
no,
know
no.
that.
Right.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want people to think like we're just tooting
No,
the Cy
he
Young for
he
Mitch Keller train here.
no, no.
We're
He
not.
he he looks like at this point he looks like a really solid pitcher. He looks like
Exactly.
someone that will give us consistent, you know, consecutive good starts. We're not, with Roansy, I don't know what's going to happen
Yeah.
game to game. With Keller, I feel like I'm going to get 6 good innings. He's going to give up a few runs. He's going to give up some hard hit balls, but he can now get out of it with a double play or a strikeout. He seems to be still be growing. His confidence is growing. Uh, I really do love the way Shelton is handling him. Uh, you know, Guys don't
No,
become aces overnight, right? It
mhm,
doesn't, very few guys just come in and, DeGrom win the rookie of the year, Verlander rookie of the year, and just keep building from there. And,
mhm.
they got much better. They're much better 5 years down the road than they were. So um, I want him to sign him, extend him now before, because 5 years from now, he might be really good. Um, and well, let's take advantage of that. Let's get in on having an ace, or again just a top line starter. Again, ace. There's only 6 of them in the league,
Yeah.
probably. But
No, but I do think Mitch Keller is kind of molded himself into a very solid number 3 in Major League Baseball, which is to Anthony's point here, he brings up in the chat that he was ready to cut Mitch Keller altogether last year.
Yeah.
I was on record on this show last year after he got put in the bullpen that I don't know if we'll ever see him make another start as a Pirate.
Right. I remember that. I remember that. And it right. Like I said, we went through the whole offseason last year, him throwing 100 miles an hour, some barn somewhere or whatever, and then lights out spring until his last start, and then boom, regular season.
Turn right back into a pumpkin.
Yeah, exactly. It's like can't get out of the third inning. Walks, hits all over the place, just looking scared and indecisive, and just terrible body language. Yep. Right.
And you're just seeing so much more conviction with his stuff. And a lot of that does have to do with he can believe in the fastball now because he's added so much to it. And it's not just velocity. He's added that movement.
And they can't just sit and wait for it because his other stuff is working, right? It's like
his other stuff has always been so good, but his four seam is so damn flat.
Yeah.
But he's able to use it now because he's got that. Now he's got the cut action. Now he's got the sink.
You got the sweeper.
Right. Oh, right. I'm tired of hearing about the goddamn sweeper.
I know.
That's something else.
Yeah. I know.
It's a slurve.
Yeah.
The same thing that was in MLB MVP Baseball 05. Like that was in that game. I don't need to hear about the sweeper.
I don't know how much attention you pay to the NBA, but they've learned the new word now, the nail. I've watched basketball my whole life, played basketball. It was never called the nail. Suddenly now, he's great in the nail. Look what he's doing in the nail. It's right. And that's the sweeper in baseball. It's like this pitch been around. Walter Johnson threw the sweeper. Right? Christy Bassett.
We got to add a new name to it.
Right. We got to spice things up, and then just
some random Rapsodo owning training center has to make sure they can have a calling card.
Yeah, exactly. And we have developed.
Hey, it's working. It's worked for Mitch Keller. So
worked for Mitch Keller. Right. Mitch Keller is a viable starter. I don't know how good he'll ever be, but if he's with this team for the next 5 years, I'm not unhappy. And like you said, a lot of people earlier than this time last year were done with him. We're sure, he was a bum, he was a bust, he was all that stuff, and you couldn't argue with them. They were right. He was off. He turned it around. It doesn't happen that much, and it certainly hasn't happened that much with the Pirates. I give Oscar credit. I give Mitch credit. Whoever else is in on it. It's been a nice thing to see. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right. We're getting a little deep in here. So let's just wrap this up with Doug. Who is your player of the game? I don't have a fancy graphic. I'm not Donardo or Jim.
Yeah, I know. We didn't even do it. To me, it's Mitch Keller. I know, Bay's an easy choice, but we shouldn't have needed Bay's walk-off home run after we got 6 good innings. So I give it to Keller. He stopped I don't want to say a losing streak. It was a 1-game losing streak, but we were down and depressed and all sort of concerned about after that loss. And now we're back to feeling like, get your post-game tickets. So.
Yeah. I got to give it to G1 Bay. He hit the walk-off.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue with that. That was really exciting.
I think you can also go with Jack Sawinski. We started to see him come out of his shell a little bit today.
Yeah.
Also, they were in PNC Park against the righty, which is just his wheelhouse.
Yeah. I mean, that's right. That's his spot.
But
he did,
That's the only way he's hitting.
Yeah. It's the only place he hits. It's
the only situation. But hey, they've done a good job of only limiting him to that.
Right. Yeah. And that's, like I said, that's why I don't think it's viable, because you would think before long, every pitcher and pitching coach will know you can only hit one pitch in one particular path, and only in Pittsburgh. You could throw it to him in Cincinnati, in Great American Ballpark, you could throw it to him and he's not doing nothing with it. PNC Park, he'll crush it. So.
But yeah, I think you could go with Sawinski tonight, but I'll just go with G1 Bay, the guy that goes 1 for 5, but he hit a 3-run walk-off. So
there you go.
I don't want to hear anything else.
Junior.
He gets my game ball. I will also take the Mitch Keller train because 6 innings, 2 runs against the Houston Astros. Yeah. You take that every day of the week.
Exactly. He gave you a chance to win. It's like we like to say about a starting.
I mean, really though, that's what he did today.
Yeah.
He gave him a shot to win. He
Right.
kept him in the ball game when I did not think he could.
Right.
I didn't think there was a snowball's chance in hell it was going to happen.
Tomorrow early game, right? Tomorrow's
Yeah,
early game. Rich Hill.
1:35 tomorrow.
And, yeah. So make sure you check out tomorrow's post game. We'll talk about Rich Hill bouncing back and taking the series from the Houston Astros.
He's going to find command of that curveball one of these days.
Oh,
the 43-year-old man.
Actually, I'm not too worried about him yet. You know, and I'll make excuses tomorrow because it's against the Astros. So he's got at least another one before I'm ready to
talk to me in May about Rich Hill.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
We'll get there. All right, let's wrap this thing up.
All right, bud. Yes, sir.
All right. Pirates win it 7-4. G1 Bay walk-off. We're out of here. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.